Welcome to our Mix TV Home and Garden Spotlight. We're joined by Eric Gardner with Volunteer Rid-A-Pest. Eric, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing good, and I always like to say it every time we talk. First of all, your business, Volunteer Rid-A-Pest, your family business, over 50 years now.
Yeah, this year, incredible. 52 years, April 1st.
52 years. Well, let's just talk here because this is an audience, obviously, very interested this time of year in home and garden type of matters. So let's talk about Volunteer Rid-A-Pest. What makes you different?
Well, that's the thing I try to tell my employees every Monday morning. For us to compete with the big national companies, we can't be almost as good as they are. We can't be as good as they are. To beat them, we got to be better than they are. So we got to do things that they don't do. We've got to always arrive on time. We got to be courteous and professional when we get to the customer's home. We got to solve their problem. And most pest control companies don't inspect crawl spaces. Well, just think about it. If anyone watching this, if you have a pest control company, do they get under your crawl space? If they don't, well, there's a lot of bugs under the crawl space usually. If you got a spider problem, that may be where they're coming from. If you got an ant problem or a centipede problem, that's probably where they are. So I tell my guys, get under the crawl spaces, check them out. There may be things going on under there the homeowner needs to know. Is there a heat and air duct? I found this many times. Heat and air duct is pulled loose in a bedroom that's laying on the floor of the crawl space, blowing the heated or cooled air out in the crawl space. And they think, well, Johnny's room's always hot. We don't know why. I just figured it out, And it's a simple fix. Get some duct tape, put it back up, fix it. And a lot of times we'll do it for them. That's not our thing. If they want to get a heat and air company to do it, please do. But we help out where we can. If we see a leaky toilet, most times you don't know it. It's leaking, dripping into the crawl space. From the bathroom, you can't tell it. But from the crawl space, we say, hey, you got a rotted floor in your bathroom. You probably need to get that taken care of. And we can help because you got some fungus growing too. We can help with that. So we try to go a step above our competition. So, if you're doing business with an out-of-town company, rethink that. Get with the local guys. If you have a problem with me, with our company, we do something wrong, I'm right over here on Mimosa Drive. You can come yell at me in person and I'll take it like a man.
Does that go for me too?
if you feel the need. But, come tell me what's going on and we'll fix it.
One thing that I know is so important to you, Eric, and that is local people, keeping our dollars local, how important that is. And like you said, you are local, you're right here, and you've got a 52-year reputation.
Yeah, that's the thing a lot of people don't understand. You've got so many big national companies now, and they come in here, and God love them, they're good people. But when you do business with an out-of-town company, your dollars go out of town. That's where the home office is. And to build wealth in a community, you have to keep your dollars in the community. If dollars come in and they don't leave, what happens? You got a wealthy community. That's the way it works. But, nowadays everything's so transitory. The money comes in, the money goes out, and everybody's going, well, why isn't our community getting more wealth within it? Well, that's why. That's why right there.
I tell you, Eric, your team, so we go back to the crawl spaces for a moment. You've got, I know you brought Evan Davis in here. He's, I think, your crawl space expert. Is that right?
He is our structural expert.
Structural expert.
He can crawl under there and see what's going on, and then just, short order, he can figure out, hey, this is the problem. Here's the solution.
That's right. Well, other members of your team, you have just all across the board, top-notch people working for you. It's a process. We hire who we think are good people. If we find out they're not, then we move them on out the back door. And, we try to train our people well, and it's an ongoing process. You don't just train them one time and say, go ahead out there. We constantly add new things. We bring people in from outside. I had a guy come up from Atlanta a few weeks ago and went over just basic pest control training, things that, this guy's been doing it 50 years. He knows things my guy's been there for 2 years may not know, And so, and if they hear me all the time, I don't know how you are, but your staff may tune you out after a while. They don't even know my name, Eric.
But you get a person from the outside coming in, new and different approach. That's the best way to train them. But we just constantly want to update their knowledge and get them better, get them motivated. I tell them every day, without our customers, we don't have a business. and you don't have a job. So you got to keep them happy. Happy customers don't leave. They bring you more customers. Unhappy customers, they just disappear.
Eric, I want to talk about crawl space moisture because that is a big deal.
Yeah, it is. Most people never go under their crawl space. I don't think you've ever been under your crawl space, have you?
I don't know I haven't.
So there you go. And most people are like that, unless they've got a reason, a loud banging noise under there or some weird smell, they don't go under there. I can't really blame them. But, that's where we come in, because our guys are trained and equipped with knee pads, coveralls, respirators, all the things you need to go under a crawl space, because sometimes there's bad things down there. There can be fungus growing, there could be mold growing, producing spores. You don't want to go in there and breathe that. That's why my guys are equipped with the respirators. So we go under there with bright lights and we inspect your crawl space. We might find that source of the spiders that we were talking about earlier. We might find a termite tube going up the wall that maybe hasn't damaged the wood yet, but if we stop in time, it won't. Find it 2 years from now, they've already damaged some floor joists. And the thing about termites, they don't have to eat the entire floor joist. They just have to eat the end that's supporting the house. They just eat 2 inches and you got a problem. And it's typically where they start, is on the end. So little things like that can be really big things if you let them go. But moisture issues in this area, the entire southeastern United States, if you got a crawl space, typically it doesn't have enough ventilation, which means moisture builds. And a lot of times they have what we call subgrade crawl spaces. That means where the floor of the crawl space is lower than the outside grade, and then that water just wicks through and it gets into the crawl space. It could be standing water. Some houses, every time it rains, they flood, and they might have a foot of water in their crawl space, and they don't even know it. I had one lady, we inspected her crawl space, and I practically had to swim, my way around. It was so much water. And I told her about it, she had no idea. Well, we installed a sump pump. It eliminated all the water, and every time the water comes in, it drains to the sump pump and it ejects it, kicks it out. So solve the problem. There's so many things we can do, and some of these larger companies, again, they do one thing. They do crawl space encapsulation. So for any problem, that's the solution. Well, I don't do it that way. I want to give my customers the most affordable solution to their problem. If we can solve the problem for $1,200, why would you want to spend $20,000? Same end result, but you just have a lot more money in your pocket than you started with. I never want to take advantage of my customers, because I know I treat them right. They're going to lead me to their friends, their family, and they might even lead me to their own mom. And you don't just send anybody over to mama's house.
No.
You got to make sure they're a high quality company, high quality person to send them over there, because you don't want anybody taking advantage of mama. And so we get invited over to a lot of people's moms because we take good care of them.
Well, Eric, you have an unbelievable treatment system for termites. Tell us all about it.
Several years ago, we were approached by the BASF company, big major corporation. They have a product called Termidor. Well, Termidor is the gold standard of termite control in the industry. It lasts longer, it works better, it's a safer material that won't leach through the soil like most other termiticides. So it's a really good product. Well, they had a new application system. It's called Termidor HP2, and it's about a $15,000 unit. It's computerized. You just put a small amount of the concentrate in, you hook it up to a water source, and it mixes it internally. You just set how many linear feet you're going to treat, and it mixes it precisely to like 1/100th of an ounce. I mean, it's very precise. In the old way of doing it, you mix the termiticide in a big tank, and then you applied it around the house, hopefully evenly distributed all around the house. Well, this is the dirty little secret of termite control. If you don't watch that very closely, you might be going to put 100 gallons around the house, and your guy might get a little too aggressive. He might put 75 gallons around the front and the side, and then he's got 25 gallons to get the rest of the house done. Well, what are you going to do? Well, most companies, they just do it and move on and hope it works. What they call spray and pray. Mm-hmm. Well, with Termidor HP2, it takes all the guesswork out of it. We have an applicator, it's 6 inches wide. We put it in the ground, we pull the trigger, and at 4,000 PSI, it injects it into the soil. Now, to give you an idea of what 4,000 PSI is, a pressure washer is about 2,500. and it can knock the mortar out between the bricks, you know.
Yes.
So it's at high pressure, and it pops it under the ground, and then you move over 6 inches, do it again, move over 6 inches, do it again. And when we're done, we got exactly the right amount of termiticide in exactly the right place at exactly the right depth. And it's so effective, we have a 5-year money-back guarantee. So if you got termites in your home, they swarm out, you know you have them, call us, we'll come out and do our Termite HP2 treatment. And if they swarm out next year, you get your money back. If they swarm out the next year, for 5 years, you get your money back. So I take all the risk off my customers and I take it on me. You know, if we don't do the job right, you don't have to pay. You know, it's just, to me, wouldn't it be great if everybody did that? If it don't work, you don't pay. Well, that's the way we do it.
All right, Eric, it's springtime, and a lot of people thinking about what do we need to be on the lookout for as far as pest control.
Well, I have been gearing up this winter. I have hired 4 new technicians. I'm in the process. I need 1 more lady in the office to handle what's about to happen to us, because we know we've done this for 52 years, you know.
That's right.
The phones are going to start ringing, and they're going to be calling about termite swarming. They're going to be calling about ants in their kitchen. They're going to be calling about spiders, wasp nests all over their house. They're going to be calling about all these things. Even mice are now, they're out moving around. So we just have to have our guys ready and poised. Now, here's the thing that makes us different again in this area. If a lady comes home from work and she's gonna prepare dinner for the family, or the dad, who knows, you know, things are changing. Sometimes I do. My wife might disagree.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
But if she comes home and she sees ants all over her kitchen counter, when do you think she wants rid of those? Next week?
About right now.
Yeah, right now. So if she calls at 3:30, she wants somebody out there as soon as possible to get it done. She doesn't want to call the company and chat, well, it'll be next Tuesday when we're in the area. Well, we're in the area.
Yes, you're already here.
So if you call us, we're going to get somebody out. Now, if you wait until 4:45, it may be tough. You know, it may be the next morning. But we have guys, with openings in their schedule. We don't book everybody up. We got some guys. So if you call us at 3 o'clock, we're going to get somebody out that day. If you're available and you want it that quick, we will get somebody out there and we'll take care of it. We'll make sure when you go to bed that night, the problem's gone. And then that's the way we do it. If they're ants, if they're spiders, if they're fleas, if you got fleas biting you want to wait till next week?
Probably not.
Yeah. Same thing goes with our existing customers. If you have an extra service issue, we treated for ants 6 months ago, they've been fine, then all of a sudden they pop up again. You know, we make it a priority. If you call us on Monday you say, hey, look, these ants are back in my kitchen, they're driving me crazy, can you get somebody out here? We're going to get somebody out there. We're going to call you back within 30 minutes. Our technician will. He'll say, hey, I understand you have a problem. I've got an opening at 4 o'clock. Or, I'm booked today, but on my way home, I'm going to circle by and I'm going to take care of them. We make it a priority. We respect our customers' time. We want our customers to be happy. And you don't do that by saying, we'll be there next week.
Well, Eric, look, people can have volunteer Rid-A-Pest on a regular basis and have regular checkups. Is that right?
Yeah, here's the thing. Most people with pests, they're reactionary. They see the big spider in the shower and then they call. Or they see the ants on the kitchen counter and then they call. And then we have to battle them and get rid of them. Well, or you can just make sure you never have to call, Just,
how can we do that?
If you get on our quarterly program, the way it works, we come out 4 times a year, every 3 months. So if we started now in February, we'd be back in May, we'd be back in August, we'd be back in November, and just treat on a quarterly basis. We treat the exterior of your home to create a barrier that's going to keep the bugs out. The next thing about that is by treating around your home every 90 days, we are reducing the overall pest population living and breeding around your home, which just means there's fewer bugs to get in. That's number one. Now, if you just treat sporadically, we'll treat it in June and then we'll wait until we see bugs again. We'll treat it in August, we'll treat it in November. You're not doing that. The bugs are still there, they're reproducing, they're breeding, and they're getting in. But by that systematic approach, that's what we found works really great. We've had customers for years, decades, and they never have a problem. They never see a bug. They're like, hey, this is wonderful. We do the same thing with mosquito by treating on a regular systematic basis. We just get rid of the harborage sites, we get rid of the mosquito breeding areas. There's just no mosquitoes. you know, we keep rid of them for you. So systematic pest control is the best way to just not have a problem. So you just don't have to worry about it. You don't have to think, oh my God, I got to call somebody. We're going to be there. We just call you, say, hey, it's time to do your next quarterly treatment. We're going to be working in your area on Tuesday. Would you rather us come morning or afternoon? Pick a time, we're there. If you don't want to bother, you know, you're busy, you don't want to bother having us come in the house, well, the majority of the bugs come from the outside in. So if we treat the exterior, we crawl up under the crawl space, check everything out there. If you have a problem, let us know. All of our services are guaranteed, by the way. So if you have quarterly service, we treat your home in February and you have a problem in April, it's free. Call us, we'll come right back out, we'll take care of the problem. Let's say we do the exterior and then you have ants in the kitchen. We'll come do the exterior again, we'll take care of the ants in the kitchen. I mean, we even clean them up. I mean, if we kill them, we're gonna wipe them up and take them with us, you know? We're not gonna leave them there for you. And so we're just gonna take care of you. And anytime you call, we're gonna get out quick.
Well, Eric, summing up this presentation, I tell you, there's no doubt why Volunteer Rid-A-Pest has been in business for 52 years. You take care of your customers.
You know, my dad started the business, my mom and dad. My mom's still involved, but I just want to do my dad proud. He built a strong business. You know, when I stepped in and took it over, I just want to continue what he was doing the way he did it. And we just want our customers to be happy. You know, best advertising, although radio and TV are really good, you know, is word of mouth. You know, if people like what you're doing, you know, I can't tell you over the years, I've been invited to people's weddings. I've been invited to different things they've had going on. Hey, we're having a cookout. You want to come by? And I'm an exterminator, you know. But what I try to do is make friends. Yeah. And, you know, I've been to the funeral home I don't know how many times saying goodbye to my customers. So it's just, we don't have to leave that part in, do we?
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely leaving this one.
But, you know, it's just, you make friends as you do this, if you do it right, in my opinion. And, you know, and, you know, it just becomes part of your life. You know, that's who you are, it's what you do. You try to do it the right way, at the right time, and make people happy.
That's right.
And I've also told my guys, it's tough to fire your friend, you know.
That's right. Eric Gardner, as you know, very, very personal. It is a family business, and we would encourage you to get in touch with Volunteer Rid-A-Pest. Eric, thanks so much, buddy.
Thank you.
Great to see you. God bless you.